Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing? Fantastic news today because we're helping the needy. Everybody likes to help the needy, don't they? Except, unfortunately, obviously in this situation, I'm talking about hairy-ass blokes who broke into the country, most of them from countries that aren't actually at war with anyone, in order to flagrantly take the piss out of you, the taxpayer. This story is the cherry on top after a chaotic week in Altrincham. And funny old thing, the BBC hasn't mentioned it once. Here is the exact moment Altrincham residents are informed that migrants staying at the Cresta Court will be receiving private health coverage. This meeting was called by Conservative councillors to discuss residents' concerns and took place a few days before the MP drop-in session. If you like rage-watching YouTube content, you're going to love this one, boys. You're going to be tent-pegging your shorts by the end of this video. Oh, you lucky devils. All jokes aside, I don't see how we can do anything else for them. What more can we do for them? They break in illegally, they're taking the slash from the day the toenail first touches British soil. They get free hotels, free accommodation, free food, free water, free clothes, spending money for booze and tabs, and the cherry on top, private healthcare, while your granny, who paid into the system for 62 years, has to wait 8 months to get a chilblains looked at. Brilliant. Come on then, I'll roll the tape. Let's get this over with, shall we? The rage boner's flagging a little. I've just got a rage semi-boner, so, we need to pump some blood back into it. Christ on a bike.
There's things like the input to hospitals, doctors, dentists, the facilities we have. We're already fairly stretched, I feel, in the area. Is that going to be something?
So my understanding is they've contracted with GoDoc, which I think is the sort of nighttime service. It's a private doctor's system. Am I understanding that? It's not statement.
You know what's brilliant about that? Because, like all of our politicians, he's as thick as shit because we've been giving the dumbest people on earth the job for the last 40 years. He thought that was going to placate them, didn't he? He was like, oh, no, it's not going to affect the NHS, the wonderful, amazing NHS. It's not going to offend the NHS. Don't worry. They've all gone private. Yeah, good that, innit? It's only when he hears the groans of dismay, when 500 granddads suddenly go bright red and look like they're going to burst a blood vessel. Or if, in my case, it'd be 500 granddads suddenly wearing half-masted trousers. He goes, oop, put my foot in it there, didn't I?
That should mean they won't be putting weight on our local services.
Look at that, it won't be putting weight on local services. Get in. What local services? You mean the ones I have to wait 8 months for? Those ones. Well, I'd rather you put weight on the local services and I have to wait 8 months on a day than send them private, which is like the most enviable healthcare because it's expensive and it's better. And it shows the jump in the queue, doesn't it? Because if there was a queuing system, it wouldn't matter if they just rocked up yesterday. You'd be in front of them in the line, wouldn't you? So it wouldn't matter. Use the NHS. Because everyone who's been here a while's already in the queue, aren't they? So who cares if they use the local services? No, we'll just send them private. You know, that thing that you can't afford. What they're going to do next, start sending them all to private schools. Brilliant idea. Don't worry, we're just going to send them to the best healthcare and the best schools and give them the best food. I'll tell you what, we'll just feed them caviar. Don't worry, it's not going to affect your mutton and black pudding supplies. We'll just give them beluga caviar for every meal. Yeah, don't worry, lads. Who gave him a job? Forrest Gump must be in charge of hiring, vetting candidates for the Conservative Party.
For the local doctors.
We're on 3 years waiting list at the hospital, and we're finding out that our services that's given to taxpayers in the UK isn't good enough. And they're headed Bradford. Are they really seriously on
Again, well, let's find out. I think it's important. Is it a burden on us?
You can see he doesn't give two shits, can't you, as well? Look at him. Like, look at his face there. It's like he's trying to stop himself from laughing. Like, look at them. Look at the peasants getting angry, the fools. They must be quite civilised in Altrincham. Because I'm telling you, if that was in Middlesbrough Town Hall, it'd have been like that scene on Airplane where they're all queuing up with various weapons to fill him in. Remember where the bloke's slapping the woman and then there's like boxers with the gloves on and a bloke with a spanner behind him. That's unbelievable. The smug look on his face, the arrogance and the stupidity to think that wasn't going to be like putting a match to a tinderbox. What a twat.
Again, well, let's find out. I think it's important. Is it a burden on us? Is the council paying for that? I know the council are getting some funding to support this. I know it's inadequate.
Is the council paying for it? Who cares? We're all paid for it. If it's coming out of the public coffers, we're very, very angry. That's not going to placate me, is it? Don't worry, son. I'm not robbing you. I'm robbing your dad. Oh, all right then. Well, if it works like that, I won't punch your face in. I'll punch your kids. Does that make you feel better? Yeah? Are you loving that? I don't think so. Anyway, there's a thread about what's going on in Altrincham, and I'll read you it, because it's BBC won't tell you, will they? I know it's normally the BBC spews. I cover the BBC because, you know, it's the world's worst taxpayer-funded news organisation and should be bulldozed during the 9 o'clock news, but they won't talk about things like this, so we have to rely on citizen journalists, as usual. Anyway, here's the thread. As the recent influx of migrants to Altrincham hit the national news this week, here's an insider account of what's going on, how the locals have reacted, and the response of politicians and officials that hasn't been mentioned in the media. Oh, I'm going to love this. If I don't have a stroke by the end of this, I'll be astounded. As of last week, 300 migrants, all men, were bussed into the Cresta Court in Altrincham. This was the evening it was announced to the public, presumably to cause as little stir as possible. The deal was between Serco, the Home Office, and the owners of the hotel. Here they are, all arriving at Cresta Court in Manchester, all men. And obviously there's an attached video of loads of burly geezers loving life. The hotel is owned by former FA chair and ex-director of the BBC, Greg Dyke, who received substantial compensation and ministerial approval to house them. He has previously given Tony Blair a 55k donation in the 90s and has a close affiliation with the Labour Party. Greg Dyke. And the FA are rotten to the core as well, aren't they? If you actually know anything about the FA, the amount of scandals that we read about the FA, corruption and bribes and literally like call girls and drugs and all sorts, like the old creepy perverts that run the FA, like everything else in the UK, is rotten at the core. I'd rather have Bernie Madoff running the FA than someone like this fella. Oh God, he has got a face you would never get tired of slapping, Annie. Big, fat, slimy rat bag. The hotel is within yards of a primary school, 10 minutes walk from Loreto Girls' School and 17 minutes walk from Altrincham Girls and Bowden Girls Primary, fueling local concerns about the safety of local children. No, but they're doing them a favour there, because we know that the favourite place they like to, pull themselves off is on the lawn of the local girls' school. So, we're saving the taxpayers' money. We're saving the money so they don't have to spend money on a bus pass. They can walk to the local girls' school and then pull themselves senseless on the lawn. See? Always thinking of the taxpayer. They're good to us, aren't they? The first locals heard of the decision was when a news page posted the bookings for the forthcoming year were cancelled without warning, including weddings and events. Yeah, I mean, crikey. You'd think that'd cause more of a stir than anything else. Pissing off brides-to-be. All it'll take is one fat chav who's like Bridezilla, and when she finds out her wedding has been cancelled without notice, they have a pop of blokes for setting fire to the centres. Wait till Bridezilla hears what's happened. The migrants are going to shit the pants when Bridezilla rocks up. What of the local MP? Well, that's newly elected Conor Rand from Labour. Labour is an airdropped MP from Norwich. Obviously, he's not from there. Just like Anna Turley, the big fat sack of rats in red car, from nowhere near Altrincham. This is the first time they've ever voted Labour to represent them in Parliament. Brilliant. I bet they're loving that. Well, you got what you paid for there, lads, didn't you? You got what you paid for. I hope you're happy with your local MP. I even hate the photo, don't you? That is all about him, that. Oh, look, poppies, stimulating graves. Oh, I know, I'll stand and look sombre for a minute. What a weasel. Should also be noted that in a Sky piece, Colin Dieter implied that because migrants were here a few years without problems, it should be okay now. This is a false equivalence, as those he's referring to were all women and children staying in a nearby hotel. Days later, Conor Rand organised a drop-in session in Altrincham and he attends with a bodyguard. Yeah, because he's not daft. Because he knows if he hasn't got a 25-stone, 6'4" unit stood in front of him, an old lady's going to roundhouse kick his lips off, that's why. There'd be so many people punching him. He'd think he was in the Matrix. It's unbelievable. These people are just scum. Lastly, people learn that migrants will receive free private healthcare rather than going through the NHS to avoid backlogs. Police confirm that no extra funding will be given to support them for any potential incidents that might occur. Amazing. Amazing. I'll tell you what, I'm amazed we haven't had another Guy Fawkes me. I'm astounded. Hopefully, Bridezilla will do that. Bridezilla will solve the problem for me. She'll be outside the Houses of Parliament with an M4 grenade launcher when she finds out she can't get married. It's disgraceful. But good thread that, isn't it? It was worth reading because it just shows the stupidity, ignorance and scorn local politicians have for you. And they always make out as if it's about race. But guess what? Women and children are of different races and nobody was complaining about that, were they? Women and children of different races didn't cause any issues. No. Because it's not about race, it's about common sense and logic and funding and safety and putting random faceless strangers who've never paid a single penny into the system above people that have contributed for decades. It is inherently unfair and it should piss off everybody who has any regard for fairness. That's all it is. It'd be like one of them, you're playing Monopoly and they're just grabbing fistfuls of money out the bank on a whim. What you getting angry for? Is it because I'm foreign? No, it's because you're cheating. You're gaming the system. Put the money back or I'll bite your fingers off. That's why. Christ almighty, it's unbelievable. The power of the race card genuinely staggers me. I can't believe they can't see it. People get annoyed if you jump the queue to get on the bus. This is 100 times worse and 1,000 times more expensive. These people have contributed nothing and they're taking everything. But that's just what I think. Maybe I'm bad-tempered me. I know I'm shocking, aren't I? Let me know what you think in the comments. You can lambast me for my evil prejudice against queue-jumping, thieving, money-grubbing chancers from nations that aren't at war, and every single one of them's got a chopper. So yeah, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you all in a bit. All right, unbelievable. Cheers.